It's called UPC. The formal name of it is called UPC, Universal Product Code. But for now, let's call it barcode. It's simple. So what happens is once the barcode is scanned, the transaction data is captured and the data will be filled up in the form. So in the computer of the salesperson, যে salesperson আপনাকে sell করছে স্বপ্নের কাউন্টারে, ওনার যে কম্পিউটারটা আছে, there is a form in the screen. So once the product barcode is scanned, you will see that the details of the product are transferred to the, are given as inputs into the computer screen. Former mode data chole ashbe. The data will be given as an input to the computer screen, right? And there are checks and balances to validate and edit the data, which means that when the data is given as an input into the form, যদি কোনো ভুল হয়, if there are any mistakes, there are checks and balances to make sure that this is identified. For example, a Coke bottle, যেটা ছোট bottle, the price of the bottle is 25 টাকা. এখন ধরেন সফটওয়্যারে যখন বারকোড স্ক্যান করেছে, when the barcode is scanned, if the value comes to 50, 25 টাকার জায়গায়, because of a technical malfunction, the value is written down as 250. Automatically, the software will flag it. The software will identify that there is a mistake because there are checks and balances to identify the mistakes. So, যখন আপনি স্বপ্নতে যান, দেখবেন যে আপনি যে প্রোডাক্টগুলো দিয়েছেন, ওগুলো স্ক্যান করার পরে ওদের স্ক্রিনে এটার প্রাইস এবং অন্যান্য ডিটেলস চলে আসে, right? All the details are transferred, are given as inputs into the form. So if there are any mistakes, if there are any errors, the software has protection against it. It has checks and balances whereby it can identify the errors. Understood? Any questions till this point? Okay, next one is processing. And there are multiple ways of processing. You don't have to learn all of them because I will not ask you to explain all of them during the assessments. Learning 3 or 4 is fine. For example, what is classifying? You create classes. You classify the data set. You process the data by classifying the data set. For example, Shopno sells different types of products every day during the day, during the business hours. And you can classify all the different types of sales. Can anyone tell me, how can you classify the different types of products you are selling? কেউ বলতে পারবেন যে প্রোডাক্টগুলো সেল করা হচ্ছে এগুলোকে আপনি
সাইজ অনুযায়ী?
Size can be one of the ways, yes, but there are more logical ways.
So there are brands, there are food category or utility categories.
Exactly, yes. Size theke, I think, yes, size is of course correct, but the more logical way, I think, for a company like Shopno is like the category, right? For example, juice is one category, and then ice cream is another category. Biscuits is another category, right? So chips is another category. So you can have different categories: books, ice cream, biscuits, chips, soft drinks, right? These are all different types of categories. And for example, cola drinks, right? So these are different types of categories. How many books are you, how many chips are you selling? How many biscuits are you selling? How many boxes of ice creams are you selling, right? So all of this, you can make classifications, right? Which products are selling by how much? You can compare, right? The second way, you can compare between the, let's say in the juice category, which juice is selling the most. For example, are these apple juices, orange juice, mango juice, papaya juice, guava juice, which ones are selling the most, right? You can merge different sales data. For example, in the Dhanmondi region, how many outlets does Shopno have? You can merge all of their data, all of their sales data. So that is also one way of processing. Calculating, right? So general calculations. You can calculate by products, you can calculate by salesperson, the amount of sales each salesperson is doing. You can calculate by weight, the size of the products, right? So different ways of calculations you can use. So there are many ways of processing the data, and these are some of them. If you read the textbook properly, you will see that a lot of explanation is given, and it's really important that you read them in the future for the assessments. Okay. Next one is data management. And we will cover this in details in chapter 9, of course, database management systems. And we will see how DBMS works in details with relation to AIS, in the context of AIS. So DBMS is a very big concept. So we will analyze the database management systems with regards to the accounting information systems. So broadly speaking, it does three things: stores the data, retrieves, which means basically brings up the data as required, and deletes the data, which is redundant, which is unnecessary. All the redundant, unnecessary data is deleted. Okay. And the last part is information generation. So once the data has been processed into information, once the data has been processed into information, it will be communicated with the users. It will be communicated with the users. Okay. So to communicate with the users who are inside the company, internal users of accounting information, and who are outside the company, external users of accounting information. To do so, you can use different techniques. So for example, you can use Microsoft Word to present the data. You can use Excel pivot charts to present the data. You can use different types of formatting techniques. You can use different types of Excel functions, pivot tables, and formulas, right? So to process the data, to create charts in Excel, or use PowerPoints to present, right? You can compile according to the categories: juice, ice cream, etc. You can arrange the data according to your information needs, how you want to present the data to the stakeholders who are inside and outside the company. So you can generate information and present the information using different techniques. Any questions till now? Can all of you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
What about the rest of you? বাকিরা শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, any information system does three things. One, it collects data. Any information system does three things. One, it collects data. Second, it processes the data. Third, it communicates the data. Now, it processes the data into information. So the accounting information system will process the data into information. And to do that, it will use different types of processing methods. The information which is being created, if it has to have value, there needs to be certain characteristics of the information. যে ইনফরমেশনগুলো প্রডিউস করা হচ্ছে, ইনফরমেশনগুলোর যদি ভ্যালু থাকতে হয়, তাহলে কি ইনফরমেশনগুলোর কিছু চারিত্রিক বৈশিষ্ট্য থাকতে হবে. The information needs to have certain characteristics. And there are 5 characteristics which are important. There are 5 characteristics which are important. এটাকে আমরা বলি, you can say RTACS. Memorize it. There are 5 characteristics which makes the information valuable. It says, regardless of physical form or technology, useful information has the following characteristics, which means that a paper-based information hook by electronic information hook. Regardless whether the information is paper-based or the information is electronic, it needs to fulfill 5 characteristics. Number 1, relevance. Whatever information you are producing, it needs to serve a purpose. For example, what is your objective of preparing the information? So for example, when you compile, when you calculate the sales data for all the Shopno stores, when you calculate the sales data for all the Shopno stores, you're trying to calculate the sales because you want to see which products are more profitable, which products are less profitable. For example, you want to find out who are your best salesmen or saleswoman, salesperson, right? So who are the best salesperson? So in order to do that, you need to calculate the total sales per employee. So the idea is, whatever information you are processing, আপনি যে ডেটাটাকে ইনফরমেশনে প্রসেস করছেন, there needs to be an objective. There has to be relevance. It needs to serve a purpose, right? This is the first important characteristics of useful information. Second one is timeliness. So you need to make decisions. For example, if you're the sales manager and you want to see which juices you want to buy for the next category, which juices you want to buy for the next category, which chips you want to buy for the next category, and how much. You want to understand the demand for each of the products. আপনার যে শেলফগুলো আছে, এখানে আপনি কয়টা জুস আনবেন, কয়টা চিপস আনবেন, কোন ব্র্যান্ডের গুলো আনবেন। For that you need to have information, forecasting information. যারা অ্যাকাউন্টিং 202 করে আসছেন, you know how to do forecasts and how to do budgets, right? So you budget that you want to sell this many amount of units, right? So for example, generally speaking, you want the forecasts, and they have to be in a timely manner, no older than the time period of the action it supports, right? It has to be on a timely basis. Accuracy, there cannot be mistakes. Material errors are those errors which can change the decision of the investors and the stakeholders. There are two types of errors: material errors and immaterial errors. Material errors are the significant errors which can change the decision of the stakeholders. So you cannot have any material errors in the information. You cannot have any significant errors in the information. So this is R, this is T, this is A. এই পর্যন্ত কারো কোনো question? The next one is completeness, which means that you cannot leave out any important information. You cannot leave out any information. For example, if you're trying to calculate the sales revenue, you cannot calculate some of the revenue and leave others, or transfer the revenue from one quarter to the other quarter. You cannot transfer the revenue from one quarter to the other quarter. You must include all the revenues from a specific quarter in that quarter. For example, quarter 1, January, February, March. All the sales which has happened in that quarter must be included in the sales revenue in the accounting information system for that quarter. You cannot say, আচ্ছা আমি একটু পরের কোয়ার্টারে আমার কিছু সেলস পাঠাই দিই যেন আমার বোনাসটা আমি ঠিক মতো পাই। You cannot do that, right? To get the bonus, the managers cannot transfer some of the revenues in a different quarter, because that will be accounting fraud. So completeness says all information essential to a decision or task is present. So you need to include all the information in the correct space. Last one is summarization, aggregated in accordance with the user's needs. Aggregate means total, summation, aggregate, total kora, add kora, right? So for example, the higher you go through the organization, the information becomes more aggregated, because the senior managers, the C-level employees, CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, CMO, these people, CMO is Chief Marketing Officer, COO is Chief Operating Officer, CEO is Chief Executive Officer, CTO is Chief Technology Officer, right? So these people, they are busy people and they want to look at the total information. They want to look at the summarized information. They are not interested in all the data points. They're not interested in all the data entries. They want to look at the summarized information. So it's really important that they get the summarized information which is correct, which is accurate, which is timely, which is relevant, right? So which is complete. So all of these factors needs to be there: completeness, accuracy, timeliness, relevance, when they're looking at the summarized information, because the senior managers are going to make important decisions. They're going to make decisions based on the aggregated information. They're going to make important decisions based on the aggregated information. Any questions till now? Can all of you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we do now is we take the attendance first, and then we come back to the discussion. Can all of you see the IRIS screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ashikur Rahman,
Yes, sir.
Saif,
Present, sir.
Rahman, Tahiyat Islam,
Present, sir.
Safa Binte,
Present, sir.
Shohardo,
Yes, sir.
Shihab,
Present, sir.
Sadia,
Present, sir.
Samir,
Present, sir.
Noshin, Nusaiba,
Present, sir.
Dean,
Yes, sir.
Alluman, Dean Alluman,
Yes, sir.
Farhin,
Present, sir.
Atahar, Russell,
Present, sir.
Rochavita,
Yes, sir.
Mahin,
Present, sir.
Nijum, Sulaiman, Tasmia, Mushabbir,
Present, sir.
Mahmuda, Tanvir,
Present, sir.
Arafat, Asanam,
Yes, sir.
Lokesh,
Present, sir.
Shazim,
Present, sir.
Ahad,
Present, sir.
Christina,
Present, sir.
Ankita,
Present, sir.
Ifat,
Present, sir.
Sadwan,
Yes, sir.
Mahir, Oishi,
Present, sir.
Anika,
Yes, sir.
Mahdi,
Yes, sir.
Zubair,
Present, sir.
Sravoni,
Present, sir.
Sadiqul Islam,
Present, sir.
Isratul Islam,
Present, sir.
Ifat,
Present, sir.
Abdus,
Yes, sir.
Naufat,
Present, sir.
Arifin,
Present, sir.
Mahin, Norin,
Present, sir.
Lutfa Islam,
Present, sir.
Arafat Rabbi
Islam,
present.
আরেকবার বলবেন
Sir Arafat Rabbi
আইডি
231136. জি
আর কেউ বাকি
thank you.
স্যার নওশিন
আইডি
উপরে একদম নওশিন উপরে হ্যাঁ এই যে নওশিন আঞ্জু 10 সিরিয়াল
anyone else right so coming back to the discussion Amra, we have learned about the 5 useful characteristics of useful information RTACS relevance timeliness anybody remembers the next 3 Kiki relevance timeliness accuracy completeness summarization right so these are the 5 characteristics of useful information এই পর্যন্ত কার কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে আমাকে বল আচ্ছা next is basically says information system objectives in a business context so different businesses have information systems there are different businesses which uses information systems and what are their objectives information systems গুলোর objectives কি, right? So it says the goal of an information system is to support stewardship function of management decision making and firms day-to-day operations. So what is the stewardship function of management? Anybody familiar with this concept? Stewardship function of management. Right, let me explain. It basically says that the owners of the business are not managing the business in most of the cases, right? So for example, the shareholders of Grameenphone, they are not in the management of Grameenphone. So they have given the stewardship of the resources of the company to the managers. And this is called the stewardship function. The managers are managing the company. The managers are managing the resources of the owners of the company. So the managers are stewards. The managers are stewards of the resources of the company. And to manage the company, they need information, different types of information. And this information is supplied by the information system. This information is supplied by the information system, right? Daily management decision making, you need information for that. Everyday operations, to run the company on a day-to-day basis, you need information for that. Different types of information. And different types of users and different levels of employees, they need different types of information to manage the company. They need different types of information to manage the company. There are different functional areas of the business. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the functional areas, and the idea is, for example, inventory materials management, functional area, production, functional area, marketing, distribution, personnel basically means HR, finance, accounting, computer services. To manage all of these functions in the business, all of these are business functions. And to manage all of these functions, you need different types of accounting information. To manage all of these functions, you need different types of accounting information, right? So different types of accounting information you need. And all this accounting information is supplied by the accounting information system. All these different types of accounting information is supplied by the accounting information systems. Okay? Any questions till this point? So the AIs will provide all these different types of information. The AIs will provide all these different types of information to the accounting information systems. Any question till this part?
No, sir, understood.
Okay. যদি এই পর্যন্ত বোঝা থাকে, we will continue the discussion for the remaining chapter in the next class. Okay, and we will discuss the remaining, whatever the chapter is remaining in the next class. Okay, so for today, I think that will be all. If you have any questions till this point, you can ask me. If anybody's attendance is left, you can tell me now. Otherwise, all of you are free to go.